So we are in the last week of the yamas. So the last, including tonight, the last 5 weeks we've spent studying and experiencing the first of the 8 limbs of yoga. And just to kind of give you a catch up if you haven't been to them, or just to remind you what we've done, the yamas are the yoga restraints. So if you refrain from doing these 5 things, you will suffer less. You will be happier. That is the promise of these practices. They are not commandments. If you fail at them, nothing bad happens per se. I mean, there's suffering that could happen, but there's not like eternal damnation. Like you're good, you're good on that point. They're not meant to be commandments. All right, they're not. Yeah, I'll just continue on from here. So to remind you what we've done, there's ahimsa, which is non-violence. There is satya, which is non-lying. There is asteya, which is non-stealing. There's brahmacharya, which is non-excess or moderation of the senses. And then tonight, we are going to experience aparigraha, which is non-grasping. Okay. Now, before we get into that, I just want to remind you as well that the way that Patanjali, who wrote the Yoga Sutras, where this comes from, is that everything he says first influences everything that comes afterwards. So nonviolence is the first thing he mentions in all of the 8 limbs and all of the yamas. So everything after that is going to include nonviolence in it. And so as we continue on, you're going to see the same flavor kind of behind some of these concepts, which is a little bit of extra added onto it. All right. That's just a good reminder. That was something kind of novel for me when I started studying this stuff, is that everything influences everything after it. So aparigraha, non-grasping, sometimes it's called non-greed or non-possessiveness or non-attachment even. I like non-grasping personally, because we spend a lot of time in our ambitions grasping for things and being impatient for things and suffering for it. And nothing has been more present for that for me than this last year. You know, this COVID thing has not been easy. We keep waiting for things to get back to normal in some way. And there's a lot of internal grasping. If only, the restaurants could reopen. If only I could go back into the office. If only things would go back to normal. And how much have we suffered internally? How much turmoil have you felt because we keep grasping for this thing to happen that is completely out of our control? That is what Patanjali is talking about with parigraha, is if we can let go of that grasping, the things that we cannot control, we will just suffer less. It doesn't mean that we can't want the world to go back to normal or to become, something constructive or feeling more constructive. It's not okay. It's okay that we want that, but to be dysregulated by the absence of it, that can be that can cause suffering. And we can feel that. That's a really present example. There's other ones, like when you're grasping for possessions, like, oh, I really want that car, or I have to have that coat, or whatever the thing. I get really graspy around food. It's like, oh, I really want a cheeseburger. Or I really want a taco. And if I don't get it, like I start to get kind of hangry, and my friends start getting upset with me. So anyway, that is the concept that we will be focusing on tonight. Now, in a physical practice, in an asana practice like we'll be doing, we tend to grasp for like what a pose has to look like or what it has to feel like. And what Patanjali is asking us from a physical perspective in our yoga practice is to be patient with ourselves. Is to not go too far too soon. And it doesn't mean we can't have ambitions or push our boundaries. Of course we can do that. But to know what that line is to have discernment around it. And so some of the postures that we'll be doing tonight take some time to get into. And if you go too quickly, you're going to be way more uncomfortable than if you had just taken a few more breaths and allow yourself to adjust before you went further. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. Okay, so non-grasping is our practice. Let's start by getting centered. Go ahead and sit comfortably, and we will go inward. So closing the eyes, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath in and out. Just feel your breath for a moment. Another way to kind of contemplate non-grasping is to just relax. No more reaching, no more striving, just be. We'll do a quick body scan. All you have to do is bring your awareness to each point. Go ahead and bring your awareness to your feet, your ankles, lower legs, knees, thighs, hips, lower back, front abdomen, rib cage, chest, shoulder blades, collarbones, tops of the shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, neck and throat, jaw, lips, cheekbones, nostrils, bridge of the nose, space between the eyes, eyelids, the eyes, space behind your eyes, ear canals, ears, temples, forehead, back of the head, top of the head, the whole body, the whole body, the whole body resting in your awareness. And feel this body at ease. Yes, there may be tension or stress being held in the body, but just be aware that the body doesn't have to reach for anything right now. It doesn't have to do anything right now, really. Just in that knowledge, you might start to feel a softening. Maybe psychologically, that just feels good to know that you just don't have to reach or strive for anything right now. The grasping can stop. The yearning can stop. A sense of ease. And we'll return our awarenesses to trying to embody this sense of ease throughout our practice tonight. For now, let's chant Om 3 times together. Deep breath in. Bring your palms to the heart, lower the chin, honor yourself as you are in this moment, body, breath, energy, mind, honoring the one who is doing the honoring. And it's in that service that we will practice tonight. Go ahead and rub the palms together and bring those warm palms over the eyes, Brushing back over the top of the head, down the neck, welcoming yourself back. Good, good. All right, let's begin on hands and knees. And we're going to be on hands and knees for a little bit, so you might want to bring a folded blanket or another mat underneath your knees if you have sensitive knees. Good. All right. So hands under your shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Inhale, look forward, tail lifts. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, lift back up, hands and knees. And exhale again, child's pose. And let's just continue to move between these postures. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, releasing back. Just warming up the spine and hips, the shoulders. And feeling into the body as well. Where is there tension? Where is there efforting? Where is there relief? Let's add downward facing dog. With your next exhale, curl the toes under, lift the hips. And then immediately float back down and child's pose. So moving between these three poses, hands and knees, inhale, down dog or child's pose, exhale, alternating between the two, moving with your breath. Let's do about 2 more rounds. Right, so taking your time getting there, the next time you land in downward facing dog, go ahead and stay. And you may want to walk the dog out a bit, pressing a heel to the floor, bending the opposite knee, breathing length into the legs and spine. Continuing to feel this body, continuing to breathe with this body. Let's do one more breath. And then inhale, float down onto hands and knees. Exhale, child's pose. Good. And then inhale, come back up to hands and knees. All right, you can keep facing forward on your mat. I just turned sideways for the camera. You're going to have your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and step your left foot out to the side, leg in line with the hips, so not too far forward or back. Good. Go ahead and roll the shoulders down the back. Feel your tailbone lifting toward the ceiling behind you, and then just glide backwards a little bit. You'll start to feel a stretch on the inner thigh. Then inhale, come back up. Then exhale, glide back again. Inhale, come back up. And we're just going to keep moving about a few more times, maybe 3 or 4 more times. And you want to keep the tailbone lifting. That's what's going to give you the stretch in the inner leg and in the hip. This will all be really important later, so we got to warm it up right. Good. One more time. Then inhale, come back up. And then we're going to bend the left knee and sink to the left. So it'll be deep breath in. Exhale, bend the left knee. Go ahead and sink to the side. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, bend the left knee, sinking in. Inhale, come back up. And we're just going to keep moving. Sinking in, feeling that stretch on the inner thigh again here. Deeper into the hip, of course. Let's do 2 more. Good. Now, as you bend the left knee this time, go ahead and stay in the pose. You can keep your hands right where they're at, but if you need to for support, you could walk the hands to the left. Also, depending on how much flexibility you have in the hip right now, you could come down onto your forearms. But if you do that and realize that was a bad idea, it's okay to come back up onto your hands. All right. With your next inhale, go ahead and come back to center, straighten the left leg, and bring the left knee in. And we'll do the other side. Take your right foot out. Again, the leg is in line with the hip bones, not too far forward or back. And we're grounding through the pinky edge of that foot. So both hands are underneath the shoulders right now. Turn the tailbone toward the sky behind you, and then just glide backwards. You'll feel that stretch on the inner thigh here. Inhale, come back up. Exhale again, gliding back. Inhale back up. Good. Keep the tailbone lifting. Keep moving in and out, warming up this hip. Taking deep breaths, especially if there's tension. Okay, let's do one more. Good. Then come back up. With your next exhale, bend the right knee, sink sideways. Inhale, straighten the leg, and then just keep going. Bend the right knee, sink into the hip, and come back up. Deep breaths. Let's do two more. Now, as you sink into that right knee this time, go ahead and stay. Again, your hands could stay where they're at. You could walk them to the right, and then a select few of you could come down onto your forearms. Now, talk about grasping. We're already at a kind of a choice point about that here, because some of you, I can imagine, really want to go down on your forearms. And when you get there, you realize your hip is burning and it might be a bit too soon. It's okay just to be on the hands and be with wherever your body's at right now. You don't have to push it. There's nothing to perform here. And especially since we're all at home, there's literally nobody watching unless you have like family around or something, but they don't care. Good. Inhale, come back up and step the right leg in. Let's go to child's pose. Good. And then inhale back up to hands and knees. All right. You're going to take your left leg out to the side again. Again, the leg is in line with the hips. And then you're going to come to stand on your right knee. So you're going to come on up. Now, especially right now, if you're noticing any tension in that knee, bring some cushion underneath it. It's okay if it's a couple of blankets. You want to make sure that we're not stressing that out too much. All right. So go ahead and relax your left hand down onto the left leg. Turn your right arm out to the side, palm face up. Then inhale, reach the right arm up and over. Exhale, stack the spine, come back up tall. And then inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, back up. There's some core engagement that helps pull you back up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, return. We're going to do two more. Reach, return, and reach, and return. Good. Relax that shoulder for a moment. And just watch me do this one or two or three times. Some of you have done this with me before. We're going to be doing some big sweeping of the arms around, and it's kind of a fluid type motion. So I'm going to start with my right arm out to the side. And where your left hand goes is completely up to you. Some people like to keep it on the leg. I like to take mine on my lower back, but you'll see what's going on here. I'm going to bend at the hips, reach forward, sweep my right arm toward my left foot, and then lift myself back up. All right. So that's kind of a slow movement. So it's going to be exhale, bending, sweeping around, inhale, stack back up, and then sweep, and lift. It turns into this nice flowy dancing motion. So if you haven't already started, let's begin. Go ahead and exhale, bend at the hips, sweep forward and across. Inhale, back up, and then sweep forward and across. Inhale, back up, and then just keep moving. Fluid in the spine here. This feels a little bit dancey. Let it be dancey. Controlling the core. Getting some movement in the spine, the shoulder. Allowing your breath to guide you as you exhale, folding down. Inhale, pulling yourself back up. Going slowly, going quickly. Do what feels good. Now, if you do go too quickly with this exercise, you will get dizzy. So that might be a grasping moment that you can back away from. You can slow it down. It can be not as big or expressive. It's okay to practice where you're at. The Bhagavad Gita, one of the texts of yoga, says it's better to do your duty poorly than to do someone else's well. So if this is where your body is at, if this is what you can do, that's fine. Be with that. Practice there. All right, let's do one more. Getting warmed up here. Then inhale all the way back up and relax the arm down. Take a moment just to breathe. Good. And then go ahead and bring your hands to the floor and step the left leg in. It might be worth a child's pose here. And then inhale back up. And let's prep to do the other side. Right foot out. Again, leg is in line with the hips, grounding through the pinky edge. And then go ahead and come up to stand on this left knee. Again, have cushion if you need it, all right? So right hand relaxing down onto the right leg, left arm out to the side, palm face up. And to start, we'll inhale, reach up and over. And then exhale, return. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, return, and we'll do about 3 more. Reach, inhale. Exhale, pull yourself back up. Good, reach and return. Good, relax for just a moment. And just to show you again, we're gonna be sweeping forward, exhale and across, and then inhale, coming back up, and just continuing that fluid motion at your own pace, quickly, slowly, take your time, all right? So right hand can be on the leg. Again, I like my behind my back, but do what feels good for you. Just do something with this arm. All right, take a deep breath in. Exhale, reach forward and across. Inhale, back up. Exhale, forward and across. Inhale, back up, and just keep moving. Nice fluid spine here. Again, this might feel a bit dancey for you. Let it be dancey. Again, practicing this wherever you are at. So again, if you start to feel too dizzy, slow it down or make less big movements or both. Let's just do a few more. Last one. Then inhale up and relax. Take a moment and breathe. Beautiful. When you're ready, bring your hands back to the floor and step the right leg in. And again, child's pose. Taking deep breaths here, just feeling what's going on in your body. Right, then inhale up to hands and knees. And let's come into downward facing dog. If you're using a blanket underneath the knees, you may want to move it now. Good. So in downward facing dog, we're just going to walk the dog out a bit again and lifting the hips high. And then we're going to begin a lunge flow. So go ahead and lift your right leg high into the air behind you. With your exhale, step the right foot forward. Take the back knee to the floor, then inhale, lift the arms up, crescent lunge. Then exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts then. Exhale, step the left foot through. Knee to the ground. Inhale, crescent lunge. And then exhale, hands down, stepping back, downward facing dog. Right leg again. And step. Help it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg. And step. Inhale up. And back. Let's keep moving on your own, at your own pace. It doesn't have to be the pace that I'm setting. Right leg, then left leg. Moving from the lunge to down dog, and then switching. You might go slower at this. It might take more time to step that foot forward. That's completely fine. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. Now, just to tempt you a bit here, I'll offer you some modifications. So you can keep doing what we're doing. There's no shame in keeping where we're at. But if you do find yourself a little bit, if you are a bit more advanced or a bit more flexible, you could keep the back knee lifting when you come into the lunge. Takes a bit more control, but it's up to you. Again, part of this is to tempt you. So if you're coming into the high lunge and you're just falling over the whole time, it might be a bit too soon. There's nothing wrong with keeping that back knee on the floor. Moving through the lunges. And this might be quick, it might be slow. Okay, let's just do a couple more, all right? Good, so the next time your left foot steps back in down dog, go ahead and stay and breathe for a moment. Good, and then we're gonna move through Danda Kriya, everybody's favorite flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale, bend the elbows in towards your waist, bring your heart 1 inch from the floor. Then press the arms straight, come onto the tops of the feet, upward facing dog. And then exhale, pull yourself back into downward facing dog. And let's do that again. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Let's start to move at your own pace. You might move slowly, you might move quickly. Notice when you're reaching or grasping for some performance. We're going to move through it a couple more times, all right? All right, let this next one be your last one. Landing in down dog. Go ahead and stay in down dog. Then from downward facing dog, carefully walk your hands back to meet your feet. Standing forward fold. And I'll give you a couple of options here. Again, the options are sort of to tempt you to grasp and then practice not doing that. You can just hang forward here. You could grab opposite elbows, or you could interlace your fingers at the lower back and lift the arms off the back and overhead. What feels right for you to do right now? Now, if your arms are overhead, go ahead and release them to the floor. Then we'll all press palms to shins, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side with a strong back, come all the way up to standing. And palms to the heart. Feel sensation, feel the warmth in your body. Breath in your body. The aliveness in your body. All right. Right. So we are going to play around with triangle pose tonight. Actually, two different triangle poses. One is triangle, the other is revolved triangle, but we'll get ourselves there. So we'll practice one version now, then we'll do something else, and then we'll come back and do the other version here in a little bit. But to get you started, go ahead and step to the top of your mat, whichever direction that is for you, and take your left foot way back. Nice wide stance. And the back foot, the left foot is pointing directly outward. All right. Good. So go ahead and take your arms out to the side, over the legs. Good. Now the front knee, it's tempting just to lock it back. It's straight, but keep it soft. Good. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, reach your right hand as far forward as you can, like you're trying to grab somebody's hand in front of you. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, back up. Let's just keep going. Exhale, reach. Inhale, rise. We'll do two more. And then reach as far forward as you can. Take the right hand down onto the right shin. Your left arm is going to drop down first. Then inhale, reach the arm forward. And then roll the arm into the air. Take the left shoulder back. Look up if you can, coming into Trikonasana triangle. And breathe. Now, if it's too much to look up, you can look forward or down. But keep the left shoulder working back. Good. Now it's tempting here to put a lot of weight on your right hand. You can still hold onto the shin, and I encourage you to do so, but just let it be a little bit lighter. This helps your core to be engaged just a bit more. It's also tempting to scrunch into the right side here. See if you can lengthen off of the right hip as well as the left hip. You're extending out of the hips here. Even more control of your core. Good. Then with your left hand, the one in the air, go ahead and reach overhead, palm face down. Good. Big length along the left side from that heel all the way up through the arm and fingertips. Then again, feel the length on the right side. I know it kind of feels scrunchy here, and we're going to help that out a bit. You're going to reach your right arm forward as well, like you're holding a beach ball between your hands. Now things get interesting. Good. And then with the next inhale, lift the beach ball overhead and then throw it on the floor. Great job. Now I get to feel like what that feels like on the other side. So if you want to, you can just turn your right toes out and your left toes toward the other side of your mat. And now we're prepped for the other side. If you want to step back and forth, go ahead and do so. Just make sure your left foot is pointing directly forward and your right foot's pointing out. We'll do the same exercise. Arms out to the side, soft front knee, deep breath in. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, back up. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, back up. We'll do a few more. Reach and lift. Reach and lift. Let's do two more. And this time, reach as far forward as you can. Take the left hand down onto the left shin. Right arm drops forward or down, and then reach forward. Inhale. Exhale, roll the right shoulder back. Take the arm into the air. Look up if you can. And we'll start getting established in triangle on this side. So keeping the right shoulder working back, opening the chest. Breathe. And again, you want to get a little bit lighter on the left hand. You can put some weight into it, just don't collapse into it. Okay. And then think about length on the left side of the waist as well as the right side. Keep rolling the right shoulder back. And then take the right hand, the one in the air, all the way overhead, palm pointing toward the floor. Keep the right shoulder rolling back. Breathe. Now again, feel length on the left side of the waist as well. Engage the core, get light on the left hand, then reach forward with the left hand like you're holding a beach ball. Breathe. Good, and then with a strong back, lift the ball up and throw it onto the floor. Whew. Good, that got into the obliques a little bit here for us. So go ahead and turn the left toes out to the side. So now both toes, toes on both feet are both pointing forward directly, maybe even pigeon toeing slightly. And we'll lift the arms up. Then exhale, hinge at the hips, fold over, wide legs. Good, soft knees. And just take an adjusting breath. We've been working the back out a lot tonight, so just feel what you feel. Good, then come up halfway. Looking at the ground, bring your right hand underneath your face. And if that's feeling far away, you can take a yoga block under your hand. That'll give you just a bit more height. Your left arm or left hand can come onto your left waist to start. With your deep breath in, feel the spine lengthen forward through the crown of the head. With the exhale, roll the left shoulder back and twist. Good, we're gonna stay in the pose. Breathe in the pose. If it's too much to look up, don't worry about it. You can look forward, but keep the left shoulder working back. I'm going to give you some modifications here. Again, just to tempt you to grasp and show you where those tendencies are so that you can course correct as needed. So stay where you're at if you want to in this twist. This is definitely a great pose. You're getting a lot out of it. If you have the flexibility, you could walk your right hand more towards your left foot, but keep twisting. If bring the hand over to the left foot makes you start looking down at the floor, you're no longer twisting. So you come back and you practice at the first stage, okay? But if you can, take the hand across and still roll the left shoulder back, do it. Whichever version you're practicing, please breathe. Good, all right, go ahead and unwind. Just come back into the forward fold, hanging forward for just a little bit. And why not? While we're here, go ahead and release the neck. Just shake the head around a bit. Inviting any tension in the neck and shoulders off onto the floor. Get rid of it. All right, go ahead and release the head. If you're feeling a little bit woozy, just open your eyes and focus on one point and breathe. The world shall settle down after that. And lift yourself up halfway. When you're ready, bring your left hand under your face or onto a block there. Your right hand can come onto your right hip. Inhale, lengthen the spine, reaching the crown of the head forward. Exhale, roll the right shoulder back and twist. Good, now we're staying in the pose. Breathing as you take that shoulder back. And again, to give you some options here, you could stay here and hang out here. This is a beautiful pose. Get a lot out of it. Some of you may have the ability to bring the left hand toward the right foot and continue to twist. Now, again, if you move the hand and you start to come out, you've gone too far, back up. Keep breathing. Good, all right. With an inhale, carefully unwind. No matter how far you went, go ahead and unwind and fold forward. And then sweep the arms out to the side, strong back, come all the way up. And release the arms. Good, take an adjusting breath here. We've been doing some twisting. You might notice something in your spine or in your shoulders, your upper back. Good, now we're gonna move into revolved triangle. And this one is, it's not easy. So we're gonna do our best with it, all right? Great pose to practice non-grasping in. Because we wanna do it, we wanna look like the magazine. It's just, be gentle with yourself. You may need support, so you may need a block. So have that ready just in case. And why not? I'll demonstrate it first. I'll give you a break. If you need to step your legs together to take a break, do it. But in a moment, we're gonna come back into that warrior two stance we were in earlier when we did regular triangle. Good. And then we're gonna have the arms out to the side. I'll take a deep breath in. With the exhale, I'm gonna twist my body to look forward, then bring my left arm all the way across, plant the hand down, and roll the shoulder back, coming into revolved triangle. Now you could bring a block underneath your hand next to the right foot here. You could bring your right hand onto your right hip. You could bend the front knee a little bit if you need to, okay? So let's practice that together. Have your right foot forward, have your left foot back, toes pointing out. Then you'll take your arms out to the side just like before, hovering over the legs. Then take a deep breath in. With your exhale, twist to look forward. Keep twisting. Bring the left hand down onto the block. or onto the floor, okay? Now, your hand can stay lifted, or you can bring the hand onto the hip. But with an exhale, you're gonna roll the right shoulder back, twist a bit deeper. It's okay to bend the front knee a bit. Try to keep the back foot flat on the floor. And if it's too much to look up, don't. Look forward or down. And breathe. Again, there are many variations here that you can practice. It's okay to play around with one to find out what fits you tonight, even if it's different from what you might normally do. Deep breaths. Good, and then carefully unwind, coming all the way up with as much control as you can possibly muster. Taking a moment. And then there is the other side when you're ready. So you can just switch the angles of the feet, or you could turn it all the way around, whatever works best for you. If you're using a block, just make sure it's toward the forward foot. If you're not sure if you need it, just have it ready. So start with the arms out. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, go ahead and twist to look forward. The right hand comes down this time, either onto the block or to the floor. Good. And then the left arm is going to finish the twist, taking the arm into the air or hand under the hip and rolling back. And breathe. Again, it's okay if this front knee is bending slightly. And if it's too much to look up, don't. It's okay to adjust your practice for what works for you. It's tempting to look at what other people are doing and what other people have and want it. That non-greed idea. It's a part of Aparigraha. I'm going to stay just a bit longer. All right, with your next inhale, carefully unwind, come all the way up. Take your time with it. Feel sensation. Now, it's up to you how you get there, but come into child's pose. You might step back to down dog first. You might step off your mat, take a drink of water, then make your way there. Do what you need to do, but come into child's pose. Take your time. Just feel sensation from all the twisting that we've been doing. It's a lot of energy that moves when we twist. We hit all of the chakras. We activate a lot of sensation in the gut. So much to be experienced from twisting. Good, and then go ahead and bring yourself up to a comfortable position. I'll quickly demonstrate this next exercise, which many of you have done with me before. I don't think I've taught this maybe once or twice, maybe, but I don't think I've taught this remotely, but we'll make it work. This is twisting table. So I'm going to start in hands and knees and figure out which way I want to demonstrate this. I think I'll demonstrate facing you. So we're going to be on the knees here, so it's okay to have cushion underneath it. But facing you will just show you more of what's going on. So on hands and knees, I'm going to bring my right shoulder down to where my right hand is. And my right hand is going to go behind my left hand. So I'm just coming down here to start. Now my first goal here is to stack my left shoulder over my right. So I press the left hand into the floor and I roll the left shoulder back. Now I'm going to move through this quickly. You will go slowly. Once I've done that, I'll bring the right shoulder behind the left hand. Don't skip this phase. And do the same thing, rolling the left shoulder back. Now, if and when, or just if, you get the shoulder stacked here, you can take the left hand, the one that's flat on the floor, forward and continue to roll the shoulder back. Now, if you get the shoulder stacked again, you can come up onto the hand. I'm not even sure if I'm on camera here, but we're kind of up on the hand. And you'll just finger walk back even further, starting to open the chest toward the ceiling. Good. Now when it's time to come out, we'll come out slowly, passing through each stage, and child's pose is lovely. Now again, I went through that really quickly. I want you to take your time with it because there's a lot to be experienced at each stage. And if you take your time, the next phase of it will come to you more easily than if you had forced it. Last thing to note, only go as far as your body wants you to tonight. You don't have to come into the full expression of it tonight. Trust me, there will be other opportunities. All right, so from hands and knees, if you're not already working your way there, bring your right shoulder down where your right hand was, the right arm behind the left hand. Now again, the first goal here is to stack the shoulder. So press the left hand to the floor and roll the left shoulder back. Now, if the shoulders stack, if not, stay until they do. But if they stack, you'll bring your right shoulder across behind the left hand and repeat. Press the left hand into the floor, roll the left shoulder back. Now stay here if you're still working the posture, or if you like it. If you want to go further and you're able to, whether that's right now or later, you can take the left hand, the one flat on the floor, straight forward. And again, begin to work the left shoulder back even further. It's a big twist in the spine from the tailbone all the way up to the neck. You may be able to come onto the tips of your fingers and walk your hands back further, but only if you can. There's no point in going further than you can. Now to come out, take your time, passing slowly through each stage. Oof. Now I feel like coming out of that pose is kind of like being reborn, so just be with whatever's there. There might be a child's pose that's being asked for. There's a lot happening here. Just be with it. Now I hope you liked it because we have to do it on the other side. which will be a different experience altogether. So we enter it with openness. You may go as far as you did on the first side. You might go further. You might not go as far. We don't hold attachment to that. But when you're ready, come back up to hands and knees. And we'll let the left hand lead us this time. So go ahead and bring the left shoulder down where the left hand was. Left arm goes behind the right hand, the standing hand. And press the right hand into the floor to begin to roll the right shoulder back. Deep breaths here. Now we'll continue instructing, but please go at your own pace. When you're ready, you can bring the left shoulder behind the right hand and press the right hand into the floor. Roll the right shoulder back, attempting to stack the right shoulder over the left. Take your time with that. There's no rush here. You might find that the less grasping you do in this pose, the further you're able to go more quickly. You're not tightening up everything. The spine wants to wind up. Continuing to instruct, you go at your own pace. If you have the shoulder stacked in the second part, you can extend the right arm forward and continue to roll the right shoulder back. And then you might come onto your fingertips and finger walk back even further. Deep breaths. All right. So, taking your time to come out. It might take several breaths. You might have to stop and breathe before continuing to unwind. When you come up, finally, feel what's there. Don't turn away from it. Just surrender into child's pose and feel what's happening in your body, what's happening energetically. There might be an emotional release that happens. That can happen with twisting sometimes. There might be a sense of devoutness that just kind of takes over your mind. Twists are sometimes called the most spiritual of postures, partly because of the alignment of the chakras, and partly because they call us internal, to look inward, to really feel. And taking a deeper breath. Go ahead and bring yourself up. Whew. Lots of feeling coming through with that one. Lots of feeling. And one of them that I'm present to right now is a sense of calm. There's a lot going on energetically, but it's very grounded. It's very settled. There's not a lot of that grasping energy or anxious energy going on with it. That may or may not be true for you, but just naming what's there for me. So we have two more postures to do, and then we'll come into Shavasana. So let's come onto our back and we'll practice bridge pose just to help counterpose from some of the work we've been doing. So coming on down. Even coming onto your back might feel different, but have your heels stack underneath your knees. Arms can stay down by your sides. When you're ready, press the feet into the floor, lift the hips into the air. Exhale, release the hips down. Inhale, lift the hips into the air. Exhale, sigh slowly and release the hips down. Let's do that one more time. Lift the hips. Release and sigh. And then lift back up. We're going to stay for about 3 breaths. Press up a bit higher, inhale. Exhale, slowly release the hips down. Bring your knees into your chest. Bring the soles of the feet together. Reach down and grab the ankles or the pinky edge of the feet and draw the feet in toward your groin. Reclined butterfly. Taking the knees wide. Pulling the feet in. Feel the release in the hips and the legs. Feel your lower back rolling back down to the floor, the tailbone as well. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes. Relax the root and the core, the heart, the throat, the eyes, the crown. Deep breath in and out. And then relax your legs down to the floor for Shavasana. Bring any support where you might need it. Prepare your space in any way that will be helpful. You can turn down lights, you can cover up with a blanket. Do what you gotta do. And as you come to rest, take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And if that felt good, do it one more time. Deep breath in and out. Again, a way to think about non-grasping is to simply relax. Simply relax. Sometimes not always too simply. So we'll do a quick body scan again. Again, you just have to bring your awareness to each point. You don't have to move it. In fact, don't. Your feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, thighs, hips, lower back, abdomen, ribs, chest, shoulder blades, collarbones, taps the shoulders, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, hands, neck and throat, jaw, lips, cheekbones, nostrils, bridge of the nose, space between the eyes, eyelids, eyes, space behind the eyes, ear canals, ears, temples, forehead, back of the head, crown, the whole body, the whole body, the whole body resting in your awareness, the whole body at ease. Peace, peace, peace. Please allow a deeper, fuller breath. Make those gentle movements in your body, welcoming yourself back. And move mindfully as you roll to your right side. And keeping your awareness grounded and inward as you come up to a seat. So sitting tall, hands resting in your thighs, shoulders relaxed, crown lifting. Become aware of your whole body resting in your awareness, your whole body at ease. And feel all of the energy in your body ground toward the floor, like a lake that's become suddenly still. That sediment that was swept up is now settling back down. Your body is the water, and your mind is the surface of the lake, still, as flat as a sheet of glass, not reaching, not striving, just being, just being. We're not grasping, we're not overdoing it. We understand how far to go, we have discernment. The culmination of the yamas, the restraints. To be in this state is to suffer less, is to be more grounded and calm and peaceful. In essence, to be happy. That's why we practice the yamas. Non-violence, non-lying, non-stealing, non-excess, and non-grasping. Feeling embodied in these, take a deeper breath. Bring your palms together and bow your chin, just honoring the capacity within you to practice these restraints as best you can from moment to moment, understanding that some moments will be different than others. Your capacity might change from moment to moment, but returning to the practice each and every time. May your effort here and these teachings continue to serve you. So until next week, namaste.